It was founded in December 1963 by President Charles de Gaulle to reward French and foreign nationals, men and women, for distinguished achievements. In fact, I cannot say enough to express in words the great deeds, outstanding achievements, inventions and progress in every field of activity that the National Order of Merit has stimulated, encouraged and honored, as its founder had hoped. James Lee Blair. You obtained a Bachelor of Arts in 1975 and a Master in Business Administration, International Business Studies in 1983 at the University of South Carolina. You started your impressive career as a high school teacher of German and French in the Anderson County school system in South Carolina. Fluent in French and German, and already international business-minded, you organized and led many student travel summer programs to Europe. In 1983, you quit school and left South Carolina to enter the world of business in Georgia, starting at the Citizens and Southern National Bank in Atlanta as Associate Vice President in the International Department responsible for customer relationship management for European companies with Georgia business operations. You joined the Georgia Department of Economic Development in 1987 as Assistant Manager responsible for corporate and industrial investment activities. Because you were so successful in what you did, not to mention your language abilities, not only in French and German, but also in Dutch, Spanish, and Italian, and I am told that you speak a little bit of English too. You were appointed Managing Director for the European Office of the Georgia Department of Economic Development in 1989. In this very important position, which until 2005 was located in Brussels. You were responsible for corporate and industrial investments leads and trade activities for a staff of 7 in Brussels, London, Frankfurt and Munich offices. You traveled a lot. You developed strategic initiatives to increase prospect leads through outreach, research, in-house development of effective marketing resources, creation of key partnerships between select European trade and development agencies, international investors and Georgia communities. Your responsibilities included the organization and execution of business missions into various European countries for trade delegations, executives, and also for the governor of Georgia. From Brussels, you facilitated new European business successes in Georgia, helping young companies to invest and develop here. Thanks to your professional assistance, many European companies, French companies in particular, were able to find American trade partners and or invest in Georgia, created new transatlantic business flows and many jobs over the years. Since 2005, you have been International Project Manager, then Director of Foreign Direct Investment in the Global Commerce Group of the Georgia Department of Economic Development, extending gradually your area of expertise. Responsible for recruiting international investment in Georgia, you manage FDI offices in Europe, Korea, Japan, and China. You supervise the delivery of site, facility, and business location services that include customized building of site searches, research on operating costs, introduction to Georgia's workforce training program, and introduction to Georgia business incentives. As a multilingual manager familiar with international business environment, well connected to the Georgia Consular Corps, and I know about that, international chambers of commerce and trade networks, you are developing many business links between Georgia and Europe, especially France, as well as maintaining very close relations with hundreds of companies from Europe that represent 10,000 jobs in Georgia. Jim, since 2010, you found the time, energy, to also be president of the French-American Chamber of Commerce in Atlanta, a position which strengthened your determination to deepen even further the business relations between France and Georgia, between France and the American Southeast. Not only did you give new impulse to the activities of the French-American Chamber, but you also highly contributed to the new dynamism of the French and French-American communities in Georgia and the region. Your energy, your patience, your passion for customer service, and the density of your network were clearly displayed through the strong support you gave to the France Atlanta project that I initiated 2 years ago, and which is designed to stimulate French-American partnerships in the region. Tonight, I wish to extend to you my deep personal appreciation of your strong support of this initiative. In all your capacities, you demonstrate excellence, high efficiency, dedication, and skills in bringing people together. Your patience and your deep understanding of other cultures are some of the keys to your success. You are a real diplomat. In recognition of your great achievements, and to thank you, Jim, for your very important contribution to the development and the vitality of the French-American relations in this region, the President of the French Republic has decided to award you the National Order of Merit with the rank of Officer. It is my sincere pleasure that I now present you with this distinguished award.
For this great honor. Thank you to the French nation for recognizing what I feel is the little I could do for promoting France in our country, representing two great countries. Your leadership with France Atlanta, in combination with a number of partners, I feel like it's been kind of a perfect storm with Serge and Ubi France, the French Trade Commission, with Rose Catherine, with RI coming together with us, with some of our great private partners, from our tax accountants and our attorneys working with us to promote France. Some of our communities, we have here tonight communities like Dublin and Rome and Atlanta represented, working all together to promote France and Georgia and the United States in commercial and cultural ties. Those of you who know me will know that I'm sitting here thinking, what's this big deal about? I love working. I love helping companies. If you know state government, you know I'm not in it for the money. I just love the reward I get when I see a businessman saying, I didn't really expect this from state government. I didn't expect this level of service, or I didn't know I could get it this quickly, or I see a building going up, or people being employed. So it's all very exciting for me. I was actually talking to Sébastien Lafont from Mérite, one of our major sponsors for the French American Chamber, about a week ago over lunch, and I was telling him about my personal passion for France and the United States. To me, the two have become indivisible. They're, as I said, two great nations. When I first traveled to France as a high school student, it was kind of it was book knowledge, it was theory. But I landed, and here's this incredible country full of passionate people who are introducing me to all kinds of new things. And I arrived there in the 70s, so that the feeling actually towards Americans was sometimes not so rosy, because there was the afterglow of Vietnam. So if you were American, you represented all that was evil in the United States among the kind of progressive population, not just in France, but in Germany and other parts of the world. But it was never personalized. It was always kind of talked about. And I love the fact that people were willing to debate. My family would say argue, I say debate. That's where I learned first the difference, that you could be, you could have disagreements, as we often hear, but be civil about it. And then it came to life really during the Gulf War, when there was another great difference of opinion between our countries. And here the roles were reversed. We were suddenly criticizing France for their stance in the situation. But you know, it just reflects the reality of life in different cultures. And I've always said it's not that any culture or country or people is better. They're different. And so I felt this renewed kinship to the French nation, the French people. The strange thing about my 18 years in Brussels, I thought for sure I would come away confirming that the British were closest to the British. Those are our natural cousins, and we're most like them. But I actually came away finding that, my opinion, that Americans are most like the French. The French are most like the Americans. Why? Because each of us are absolutely persuaded that we have the absolute best country in the world. All of us are very pleased to tell other people about that fact. We have a legacy of democracy and freedom and liberty that's tinged with not being so free, not being so freedom-oriented towards certain peoples in our societies. So there's that dichotomy of the challenge that is the reality of life as well. But I think both nations strive towards the best, and that's what I think links me indelibly to France and to the United States. So thank you for this great honor. I want to say special thanks to those of you who represent the French government coming here today. Thank you for this honor. We've got some other diplomatic corps representatives here, Claudio Leoncavallo from Consul General of Switzerland. I didn't see Annabelle Malins, but are there any that I should recognize? I apologize if I didn't see you. But thank you for coming tonight. The success of the Chamber, and with that I'll move to welcome you here as President of the Chamber. Thank you again for the recognition. But as President of the Chamber, I would like to welcome you to the 8th annual Crystal Peach. I'm kind of self-centered. It's the Crystal Peach event, which is our premier event during the year for our business community. Here we take the opportunity to recognize French businesses most active in our region. It's not just Georgia, but our region extends from Nashville down to Savannah and from Birmingham across to Greenville, South Carolina. So we take in a larger region than just Georgia and just Atlanta. So it's a great opportunity to recognize the French companies that are active here and the American companies that are active in France. And I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of you as members, as participating members, those of you who've shown up today, because it's so important for us to have you here. The success of a chamber is not measured by how many members you have or how many dollars revenue you take in. It's measured by the enthusiasm and activity of the members. And I think this has been the success of the chamber that Pascal mentioned. We've got some exciting events going on all throughout the year. We're led by very capable Daniel Bowers, our executive director. I think almost all of you had some contact with him if he's just not called to ask you to send a check in. Sometimes he asks you twice, or I do as well. But so thank you once again for coming tonight, for helping us recognize our wonderful sponsors and companies.
So if you wouldn't mind raising a glass in toasting Jim and Pascal, and welcome to the Crystal Peach. Santé, bienvenue.
Santé.
Santé.